The Tucson Police Department recently received a large federal grant to help law enforcement understand the signs of sex trafficking and get victims and potential victims off the street. Cronkite News' Jessi Schultz explains just how bad the problem is and how one local group is fighting it.
The McCain Institute and ASU's recent study of more than 200 homeless youth found that as many as 1 in 3 have experienced some kind of sexual exploitation or been victims of commercial sex trafficking. Every year, children and teens across Arizona are the victims of sex trafficking.
If you pay a kid for a sex act with food, lodging, a bed to sleep in, a ride from A to B, you're trafficking a child.
According to the National Human Trafficking Resource Center, in 2015 there were 4,136 cases of sex trafficking in the nation, 116 of those coming from Arizona.
At 14, I ran away from home.
After that, Lisa Hansen met an older man who used her for drug and sex trafficking.
Sexual abuse destroys a soul. And it makes you feel filthy and worthless. And it also makes you feel like that's all you're good for.
Cindy McCain, co-chair of the Governor's Council on Human Trafficking, says the number of victims across the state are alarming.
What we are finding is the numbers are much larger than we ever thought they were. It's much more widespread than we ever thought it was. It's everywhere.
In Tucson, police, victims, and advocates are pushing back. And Hansen's dad, Jerry Payton, is at the forefront of the fight.
Well, in our case, I was a pastor. My daughter was president of her class. She was, in a church girl. She didn't smoke, drink, or anything like that. And she wound up being trafficked.
Payton started the Sold No More organization in Tucson. The group says 1 in 5 children will be sexually solicited online. The Tucson Police Department received a $740,000 federal grant to assemble a human trafficking task force.
Our goal, obviously, is always to make a dent and trying to diminish both sex and labor trafficking.
Hansen, now 44, teaches 8th graders about awareness. With the projector on and the lights off, she explains just what happened to her at their age.
Feel like they're not even worth it.
Tucson police are mainly focusing on getting girls off the streets, and if they are over 18, arresting them.
And sometimes when you talk to them, they don't realize that they're being trafficked. They just think that it's something they need to do. It's a necessity in order to survive.
Hansen says most of the time, it's not their choice.
There's a level of choice that goes along with it, but if you dig deeper and you go way back to what's really been the catalyst in all of it, everybody goes, oh.
At least, Payton says, they are finally recognizing the problem.
Before a community, before a state or a country can really respond to a problem, they have to be convinced it's there, and it's real.
Hansen, for now, is concentrating on the kids at schools. As Sold No More continues their education program to middle schools and high schools, more victims are coming forward with their stories. Live in downtown Phoenix, Jessi Schultz, Cronkite News.